Do you ever feel like more upset at the fact that you were upset for so long though?
It's not the fact that I was upset for so long. It's more about like, why am I so upset that I'm upset?
Yeah. It shouldn't have affected me so much.
But it did.
But why? Yeah, like why was I so upset about it?
Yeah.
KBS 한국
박소. Okay, sing some BTS for us.
불타오르네.
Fire!
Fire! I was impersonating the thingy like in front of the car sales, this thingy, but like the balloon. But I was yeah. But I was like pretending to go upward, like fire, like this. So, are you an army?
Well, I don't pay for the annual subscription fee, but maybe I should. It's not that bad. I think it's like $30-$40.
Oh, that's not too
bad. For the entire year. Yeah.
I wonder how many members they have. 30 million? No. 40 million? 40 million?
We're just 2 of 40 million. But yeah, I have a very important question for you.
Yes.
After attending Permission to Dance in LA night 3 and seeing
December
BTS
2nd, 7:30 p.m.
at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California.
Yes, not YouTube Theater.
Yeah, we actually saw the members.
Yes.
Do you think that BTS is overrated?
No, but you know what I do think?
What?
I think they're hella nooks. Oh my god! Every close-up was like
lip bite. Well, okay, with 40 million fans,
yes,
wouldn't you get a little nooks too? I think I would.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't help but love yourself. That's their entire message, right?
Yes.
It's to like be proud of who you are and love yourself.
Yes.
But to answer my own question, no, I don't think they're overrated. Like, to be honest, you guys know that I go to many concerts.
Yes.
I was actually counting yesterday and I was like, I think I average about 8 concerts a year. And so I've been to, a good number, but like I've never in my life been to a concert like that. Like literally the energy, you can feel it before the performance begins. Like you feel it in line and it's just like this overall like buzz, like excitement. And I think because like you can feel the passion from all of the army, from all of the people who like us, like we've been given the opportunity to just like be guests within this. Like,
oh my god, look at this gratitude. The opportunity.
No, truly. I'm like, wow, thank you for welcoming us into your community, because you know that they are so tight knit. Like they are ride or die for each other. Like army people are, when they find another army person, like it's like, bro, like they already have like an unspeakable bond. And so I think it's just like been really, really cool to just like observe that in real life. Like I've never in my life seen that many people go to a concert alone and like make friends.
Yeah. So your mom was telling me, right? Like this was your first like Korean, like K-pop concert.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it. And I mean, aside from like all those Hollywood Bowls, which I went to the very first Hollywood Bowl. I remember I was in the front box.
Oh my gosh.
And I went a couple times after that. I was thinking about it, and this was actually my first K-pop concert too. Because my mom did have tickets to, I think, maybe Big Bang's last like LA concert like years ago, and I chose a birthday party over that.
Oh no.
So my sister took a friend. Regrets, but no worries.
Okay.
Making it up this year. Made it up this year. But yeah, I was like telling my parents, like I have never seen such a peaceful like exit. Out of a concert.
Absolutely.
Nobody was pushing, nobody was shoving. Everybody was just like so like calmly walking to their car, because people like leave like either before the last song or like right as soon as the last song ends, so that they like avoid the rush. That number one, but also number two, going to that point about people not leaving, did you notice like nobody left early?
Nobody.
Everybody stayed in their seats. Till the center stage like door closed down on the boys, like on BTS.
Yeah.
Nobody moved. Like everybody was just sitting.
Yeah.
Everyone stayed.
No, and even after the concert, literally my mom was like taking her time, taking the batteries out of her light bomb, like switching it over to the other one.
The army bomb.
Oh, is it army bomb?
I think it's called an army bomb, and my dad was just because my dad, he's like he doesn't pay the fee, but he's an army, you know?
Absolutely.
He was just like saying, oh yeah, they were joking about like calling it the army bomb because then they would be stopped at,
TSA.
TSA because they were calling it the army bomb. And I was like, yeah, don't call it an army bomb.
Oh, that's hella funny. Yeah. And so she's like taking her time, and I'm just like standing behind her, like kind of getting frustrated because I was like, Mom, we need to leave. There's gonna be so much traffic. But then literally you're right, like nobody is in a rush to leave. Like everybody is just like, wow, like that was a very enjoyable experience. Like, and it was just like, yeah, it was like very peaceful in a way at the end.
Yeah.
And they killed it. Like, I mean, you guys were talking about how like in past concerts they like would perform like solo songs to like give each other breaks, but like how this one, every single member is on stage for every single song. And so I think the biggest like draw about them was definitely their stage presence, because I think a lot of times like you have those performers who are like really good vocalists, but then maybe they only sound good on like their tracks, like not like live. And I think like a huge part of like live performing is like how well you can control an audience. And they have a tight grip on everyone's throats. They're like it's like BTS army. Dude, they'll say one word. And everyone screams.
Well, we were like getting ready to go in, right? And everyone was screaming. So I was like, why are they screaming? Like mic check was done a couple hours ago. Like I hear the music. Like what are they doing? And then we get inside and we realize like you guys are screaming at the music video. Like people are literally screaming. Like they haven't even come out yet. It's going to take another hour and a half until they come out, but they're still screaming at the fact that their music video is on the big screen. And so that was interesting.
Yeah, no. And then like, honestly, I think that you did a very good job of studying.
Oh, thank you.
Dude, okay. So you guys, so just a bit of background. Like I used to be a little bit into K-pop, like during like Girls' Generation.
When? You never.
No, girl. You don't know. Like literally it was like Girls' Generation. I was learning dances. Super Junior.
Wow.
I was also learning dances. I think it was a little bit past like Big Bang era, just because like we were a little young. But then like it went away because I think I was like rejecting a large part of my Korean identity. And so I feel like for the first time in my life with, BTS, with Squid Game, just like all the representation in general, it's been really nice to like kind of like feel like another sense of pride for our country.
Yes.
Like Korea is, we always talk about this, our parents, your dad, our parents always talk about how small Korea is, and so
it's so powerful.
Yes. And so I think it's just been really cool. But that being said, I think like even K-pop for a really long time has been like kind of cringe to me because I think there was a little bit of self-hatred involved. And so now that I was like preparing for the concert, I was like, I need to listen to the Permission to Dance set list and all of that. Like I was like, I'm doing a good job studying. And so the couple days before, our text was so funny. Our text chain was so funny. Because like, who studies for concerts this hard?
If I studied this hard in school, I would be at Harvard. I truly would be at Harvard.
Didn't you learn the entire chant, right?
Yeah. So you guys, I flew, right? I had Thanksgiving plans, but on the flight I was just listening to, and I tried to listen to it in the set order. But apparently I had the wrong set list. So anyways, I listened to it on my flight there, on my flight back, in the car ride, like when I was in the Oregon area. And then my mom's friend and my dad, like we went to the mall because it was Black Friday, right?
Oh, right.
So we go to the mall, and the entire time we're like walking around the mall, out the mall, like to the car. They're like, okay, like say it. And I was like so tired, but they're like, no, you have to say it. And so they made me memorize it.
Let's hear it.
All right, ready? Go. Kim Namjoon, Kim Seokjin. 민윤기, 정호석, 박지민, 김태형, 정정ho, BTS. See, but that's the thing. You forget one, and then you're just screwed for the rest of the chant, and then you have to be quiet until the BTS part.
Yeah.
So I'm so proud of myself.
No, you really did an amazing job. And also, I hope your dad enjoyed all the videos.
I don't think I showed him too many.
Oh my gosh.
Except, okay, so you guys, we went to the Wednesday concert, and Thursday he already had it playing on our like 80-inch screen TV. Somebody's recording on YouTube. That person recorded like every single song.
I see.
So like a part of me didn't want to record so much because I wanted to just experience.
Right.
Like they're in front of my eyes. I don't want to look at them through my screen, but I need to capture this moment because it's, like I said, momentous.
Yeah.
It's who knows when they're gonna be back? Like, they're probably gonna be back soon, hopefully. But you know what I mean? Like, they're huge. Like, we're seeing stars in front of our eyes.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
I will say, like, one comment that I did want to make is that, like, it made me kind of sad the amount of English that they spoke.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I guess they were trying to be inclusive,
which I appreciate.
But yeah,
like, I think that obviously it's really difficult when you're trilingual and there's one language that you're like predominantly comfortable in, right? Because you tend to think in that language as well. And so I feel like they were unable to like express themselves like fully and in a genuine way because they weren't able to like speak in Korean.
And that's why Jungkook, right? Like at the end, that's what he said. He was like, I want to make sure what I want to say is delivered correctly, and that's why I want to speak in Korean.
Yeah.
And so that's why I did that. I just wanted to hear them speak Korean.
Yeah.
You know? But
you want to hear some satire?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, overall I had such a good time because I felt a little guilty going at first. Like, I'm sure I told my sister, maybe she muted it out, but I told her a couple days before going and she was like, what? With who? How? When? What? She's like, why are you going? I should be going. And then same thing with my dad too, right? So my dad didn't know we were going with your mom and her friend.
Okay.
And so he was like, can you just give me the ticket? Can you just give me the ticket? And I was like, that's so weird. Like, imagine if it was my dad, you, your mom, and her friend. And then I told him, he was like, oh, like, okay, like you go have a fun time. But I was so embarrassed because so we went to go eat oysters, right? Because I was in Seattle.
Okay.
And the thing we ordered on the menu was dynamite mussels. So you start singing Dynamite, and the person, like the waitress comes to take our order, and he just starts like asking the wait, do you know BTS? Do you know BTS? Or Dynamite mussels, and starts singing Dynamite. And then like, you know, we're eating whatever, and then we need more butter and bread. And he's like, oh, butter, like BTS, butter. And he starts singing butter. And I swear she was talking about it with her coworkers because I was just like, you know, I'm observant, I'm looking around. And like I could tell she was looking at our table with another coworker, which was completely fine. But I was just like, what are the odds? Like, what are the odds? Like, dynamite and butter. But speaking of butter,
dude, they're definitely keto. Why in that music video does he eat a full tab of butter at the end?
I think that was my favorite. That was my favorite because it was before the concert started, right?
Yeah. It's when they were playing the music videos.
Yeah, so we're just watching the music videos or having a fun time. Like, no one's sitting next to me yet, so we're just kind of comfortably like sitting there, like literally stuffing my face with Chick-fil-A. And we both like kind of, right, we were both watching the music video. We turned to each other because this is right after J-Hope literally just so like happily like eats that entire tab of butter. And you just look at me and you go, oh, he's definitely keto. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Okay, last closing like two thoughts.
Yeah.
Is because you were talking about like having that presence, like grabbing the army, you know what I mean?
By
like
the throat. Yeah.
How do you sound that beautiful while dancing so intensely? Number one is a thought I just had the entire concert. You know what I mean? Like if you're moving like this, like even now, like how it goes up and down, but how do you do that? Number one. And number two, you know, it's a good concert when their performance makes you like the song more than like, because you know your favorite songs, which we went on live, you guys, on Instagram, and I was like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about Silver Spoon and Dis Ease. like when we were there, I was like, what song is this? Why haven't I heard this? And I looked at you and I was like, what song is this? And you're like, it's Disease. And I was like, what? Disease sounded like this?
Yeah.
It sounds so good.
No, it sounds so good. And so that's the thing is like when I was preparing for it, I think I was imagining myself in the concert setting and being like, which one is going to be fun?
You need to be a creative director. I'm telling you.
Thank you so much.
Just like, you know, like you like.
Yeah. Yeah. And so huge check-in.
Yeah.
Let's go Korea. Let's go BTS.
Yeah. Overall, let's go BTS. Let's go Korea.
Yeah.
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 Look at us embracing our culture.
So, Hannah, you mentioned last week that we were going to take a little break.
Yeah.
Just because like holidays, like Hannah's going to be traveling, like I'm going to be traveling. We're both going to be traveling together.
Yep.
So maybe we'll go live again. We'll probably ask for more location recs.
Yeah,
because,
definitely.
Yeah, you guys helped me out so much. And so we were just thinking about like how should we close out this year, given that this is going to be our last episode of 2021. Right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But don't worry, like we're going to stay active on Instagram and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so I know that was a huge BTS check-in, but this is just going to be like an overall life check-in, just talking about the different aspects of our life, just checking in, just updating one another.
Yeah.
On how we've been.
Yeah. Because also I think that like in the most like recent days, definitely I've been like asking a lot of my friends like just like how they're doing, because I feel like for some reason I've just kind of like lost touch with people. And
Me
so it's
too.
been really nice to just be like, wait, no, but like how are you like doing? Like what's been up? Have you been checking in with yourself? Like what have you been feeling? And so we just kind of like want to make sure that like you guys are checking in with yourself, checking in with your friends, and like here's our year end our year end check-in.
But year in would make sense too, like a year into 2021. A year in check-in.
Yes. Okay, so starting off with
how I dislike November. This past month, November, was, I don't think I've been in a funk that bad like all year long.
Oh wow.
So it was kind of weird. I feel like it was going like real strong, real good, like January through October, because you know, as I shared, I love October.
Yeah.
Just something about October is very like, you get that the last couple sunsets, right?
Yeah.
And then November, just, you know, these sayings exist for a reason, right? It was truly one of those months where when it rains, it pours. And just like, I feel misunderstandings and, to me, unfortunate events, whether it be like in my family or at the workplace, like they were just all happening one after another. Or just, it seemed more intensified because it happened like maybe all in the same weekend.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah. Like truly, like when one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
And it's just like, can I catch a break? And the universe is like, nah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so do you think like maybe a part of this like November slump is because of daylight savings? Like, you know how there's that meme and it's like, I'm fine, and then it autocorrects to the like, I'm not fine. It's like the sun sets at 4:43.
I didn't think about that, but maybe it was, you guys, when I say when it rains, it was like literally like so many things. So you know when you're like cranky and bishy for no reason, and then when you're like too deep in your thoughts and you think about more, like you think about more possibilities as to why you may be like that, and then things that didn't like upset you. Like sometimes when you're like not even internalizing, but when you're reflecting too much, like it's unhealthy. Like you start thinking, oh my God, do I have this? Do I have that? Like, do I need to get this checked out?
Like you're like self-diagnosing on TikTok and all of that.
Exactly. And then, you know, like, re-listening to our New Year, Same Chala Girls episode.
So the first episode of
this year. Like, I don't know, the first like 15 minutes we're talking about how I'm a hypochondriac, and we were like, oh, but that's a good thing, and I didn't really think about like, I mean, I feel like I had a healthy lifestyle all of 2021, and then you guys, it was funny because I was talking about like feeling like a hypochondriac in that episode last November. And I don't know, I think it's something about November. It puts me in this weird, like, do I need to get my checkups? Like, am I doing all right? Oh my gosh, like, am I imbalanced about this? Like, do I need vitamins and minerals? Do I have a lack of this and that? So I think conclusion is I'm going to try to be aware of how I feel every month. But so far, November is not going to make the cut, you know? Yeah.
I see. We're just going to cut out the month.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I feel like also a part of it is that like we haven't had to experience this kind of like season in a while, right? Like for the last 2 years in COVID, the entire year was sad. And so I feel like after getting this, like, you know, things getting better and like there being mask mandates, and so us like being able to go outside and like actually live our lives, to like have to kind of like almost like be drawn in again to like our homes, and it's cold and the sun is not out. Like I feel like all of that just contributes to it. Like it's almost made it like even more prominent because we like have been given a little bit more freedom. And so no, I definitely like feel you. Like what I've been thinking is just like I feel like it's just been a lull. Like it's literally just flatlined the entire month because I've just been like I have no feelings. All I do is like go to the gym mindlessly. Like that's literally it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so interesting to me because I feel like I used to post my entire life on Instagram. And I mean, we would joke about it. We would open up every single episode with, "Oh my God, I saw on TikTok. Oh my God, did you see the thing I sent you on TikTok? Like, oh, I learned on TikTok."
Yeah.
And I mean, I still really like that platform, but it became, at least just like while I was in this funk, it wasn't very healthy for me. So just like doing a little mental check, I was actively like kind of muting people on Instagram, which, like, I think, okay, so I find myself funny, right?
Yeah, I
so
think
if
you're
muting people,
hilarious.
no, but like very like contradictory, and just as how crazy like social media and that all is, right?
Okay.
So why wouldn't I just unfollow the person? But we talked about this in our like friends episode, one of the friends episode, about like you want to keep tabs on the person, but you don't really care what they do. You just want to like know sometimes when you randomly think about them.
Right.
And so I just felt like me actively muting these people brought to my attention that I had some hatred in my heart. So going back to what I was saying, when you're like reflecting too much, right? So like I was already in a funk, and then I was thinking about like why I didn't like these people, and then like just an overwhelming amount of emotions. And so I just, for the first time, I tried to deactivate my Instagram.
Right.
But just like Hinge, let me say, I think it is very hard to deactivate. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm not like looking up the right thing, but you know, you can only deactivate it on like the computer.
I did not know that.
You can't deactivate it on your phone app.
Dude, what kind of accessibility thing is that? What the heck?
So I wasn't able to deactivate it, but I mean, the goal is to. So
yeah,
I just need a little break. Because it's just scary that, you know, that feeling when you're on the app and you exit out to just be on your phone, but you automatically go back to it because of the placement, like your finger like memorized where it's at.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like I have, you know, this dent on my pinky. I think it's from holding my phone.
I have the dent as well.
I think it's from holding my phone.
Yeah.
Like it goes right in that crevice.
Yeah, no, literally. Do you guys have the dent in your pinky?
Do you have the dent?
Yeah, that's
if
crazy.
You do, you need to take a break.
Wait, yeah, because I heard that you damage your parts of your nervous system by holding it like that too. And so I've tried to hold it with my like actual hand, but like my hand is too small, and so I can't do anything on it. Like I barely am able to scroll. Yeah, no, literally me.
Or like,
oh my gosh,
like holding it on the sides. You know?
Yeah, I actually do that. Like I will do this thing. You feel this?
I got a package.
Oh my God, stop it, get off.
Yeah, so I just for now, like a little cleanse with TikTok and Snapchat and Facebook, and I think I'm still checking Instagram, but right. I won't be after I successfully deactivate. So that's kind of where I'm at, to bring myself back to a happy state.
Well, can I ask you really quick, like, who are these people that you were finding the need to like mute?
Great question. Do you want names?
No, like as in like what was
beep and beep?
Like, what was the reason? Like, are you comparing yourself to them? Are they people you like don't like?
I think overall, it's going back to that thing when COVID was lifted just a bit, and that FOMO, but like FOMO of things I wouldn't even have originally attended. So like knowing all these people are doing these activities and hanging out with one another, and like, and it's just crazy, because do I even want to spend that time with like this person?
Yeah.
Like if COVID didn't even exist, would I have been invited? Like probably not, but like just like having that information, that knowledge, you can't help but to compare. And I'm not too sure what I was comparing, but maybe it's like, oh, like why can't I do that with my friends? Like this is just, I don't think I thought these exact thoughts in the moment, but it's like, it would have been just better if I didn't know. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Goes back to that.
Absolutely. Because I feel like I have been kind of like in the same like digital like torture, honestly, because I feel like it's just been a constant cycle of me watching people's stories. And to be completely honest with you, it was just like me like getting jealous. Like I would see people like shopping, like having different like shoes.
Buying things. Yeah. Like, oh, that person got them.
Yeah,
they got them.
Or like they're like on vacation, or like maybe they're like working out and like looking really good. Like it was literally just a combination of everything.
Yeah.
And so like for a while now, like I've been using my like alternative account.
Yes.
Right. It's not my personal Instagram, so I'm not following all these people that like I like know in real life. It's been more just like people I actually like find inspiration from.
Yes.
It's like actual artistic influences.
Yes.
And not to mention like the fact that I'm like waking up and then scrolling on TikTok for 30 minutes. Like, dude, how damaging is that like to your brain? Can't imagine that any of this is good for us. Like whether that be the actual screen, our eyes, and like just our brains, like there's no way. Yeah. So
absolutely.
Gotta step away.
Yes.
Yeah. And then another thing in terms of like mental health that I've been like really trying to do is like, you know how like everyone's like, oh, like you should journal and whatnot. I feel like I was really big into journaling, but slowly it's become a chore where I'm like, I should journal. Like I should do a check-in with myself. And so rather than doing that, when I get really heated, and also, can I just mention, I've been getting really heated at I think stupid things. Like for example, I like asked one of our friends to like hang out, and she responded back, she's like, oh, I'm busy that day, so gonna have to pass. And I literally got upset. I was like, why am I getting upset that somebody's busy? Like, she's gonna have to pass. And so I was literally
just got rejected.
No, I literally just got rejected. And then not to mention that day, like I texted somebody that I've like gone on a date with, and I was like, hey, do you want to like grab dinner this day? And he was like, hey, I'm busy that day, what about next week? And I got so offended. I was like, what's going on? And so when I like have been getting offended, or like just upset about anything, any reason, I've just been self-vlogging.
Okay, I like that.
I feel like it is so much more natural to just be in my car and like talk to myself. Like I'll be like, okay, here's the situation. Like, for example, this one of these guys, like
Go star it out. What does the T stand for? A is the action, R is the result.
Time,
like the time it takes. All right, I'm gonna be just about this for the next hour, and then I'm gonna get over it.
No, I do not function like that. You know what I tell myself is like, I can be as angry as I want to be about this for as long as I need.
All right. Time
indefinite for as long as it takes for me to feel my feelings. And so I think a large part of like my self-vlogging has been just like, for example, somebody that like I was going to go on a date with, like I had told all of my friends, we're going to this restaurant, blah, 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 blah. Like this is what he does. He had to like reschedule, and he rescheduled the day of. So I was like upset. And I was like literally at the gym when this happened. And like, I was like, damn, if he had just messaged me 15 minutes ago, I would have worked out way harder.
I know what you mean. Because, right, we got to save our energy so that it's allocated correctly at the right time.
Exactly.
But I have a question actually. Like when you, because you just going back to like what you're saying about like, you know, you let yourself be upset for as long as you want to be upset. Like, do you ever feel like more upset at the fact that you were upset for so long though?
It's not the fact that I was upset for so long. It's more about like, why am I so upset that I'm upset? Yeah. It's just the feeling itself, not the time.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Like, oh, like this was so me. Like in hindsight, it was like, it shouldn't have affected me so much.
But it did.
But why? Yeah. Like, why was I so upset about it?
Yeah. And then so I think that was a big part of it, was like me asking myself, like in my self-vlog, like, why am I so upset about this? And it was like, oh, because I was excited for it. And so like it made me like be like so much nicer to myself and being like, you know what? Like I'm I'm justified in being upset. Like this guy rescheduled the day of, and this date has been planned for a week plus. It was something that I was looking forward to. It's something that I had shared with my friends, and like we had been texting back and forth like a good amount. And so like, you know what? I'm completely justified in being upset, and I'm allowed to be upset. But I made it clear to myself in that vlog as well, like, let's make sure to make it clear to him that this is not okay. Like, though I understand things come up, this is not okay. So, like, a part of my text was like, I was like, yeah, that's fine. I understand things come up. You can let me know when you want to meet.
Shit! My hand's a little clammy. So Okay. So he let you know?
So he let me know. Yes. We went on the date. We'll get an update.
Yes. Next season.
Yeah, you got a cliffhanger right there. And so I think like self-vlogging, very useful tool. Even a voice memo to yourself. And it just like cleared up all my feelings.
I feel like I know you've been like vlogging, and you know me, like I used to vlog a lot in college. Yeah. Like I vlogged my entire life, you guys. But I did like a more self-vlog inspired by you. And I don't know, I just found myself like when I scroll through the camera, like I end up avoiding it.
Oh yeah.
But do you ever like rewatch yourself and like laugh?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I'm like, oh my God, you're so ridiculous. And it's kind of like, it's like, you know, like it's just like lighthearted. It's like, wow, this affected me a lot. But also I'm gonna blame it.
Like it seems so like detrimental and just my life is over. And then it's just
yeah. And so I think it almost serves as like a good reminder for like when in the future things go wrong. It's like, oh, I probably think it's a big deal right now and it's allowed to be a big deal. But like in the bigger scheme of things, like it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, we got through it.
Yes. Yeah. Good for you.
With me, myself, and I.
Yes.
Phone. Me, myself, and iPhone.
Yes.
And so, wait, can we go back a little bit? Like, can you talk a little bit more about like when it rains, it pours? Like what was some of the drizzle about?
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Oh, wait, I love that so much because you guys, I was physically in Oregon and I swear it was drizzling the entire trip. So it was literally drizzling. You guys know I'm not the perfectionist type, but just reflecting on the year, recently I realized that, or it's not even like, I guess if you like something, you're going to care about it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If you like something, you're going to care about it. And I'm in the workspace, definitely at a place where I care about it a lot more. And so I just think with the impact of the holidays coming up, right? And the nature of my work, like I think it was like the busiest right before Thanksgiving, like just that type of stress. Like it was weird. Like it was like, it low-key, like in hindsight makes me happy that I cared so much.
Oh yeah.
But I also didn't realize it would affect me that much. Like work stress. Like a good work stress though.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
Because then I realized, wow, I really care about like my productivity at the workplace, the results. Like I actually care.
Yeah.
Because I want to make a positive impression type of thing.
Right.
But then on top of all of that, you guys, I mean, I feel like I've shared a big part of my family on this podcast and just the relationship, the dynamic of the members of my family.
Right.
And you know, I've never had a bad Thanksgiving. I've never, when people talk about like, Thanksgiving drama, when they talk about political differences and you know
religious
what I mean?
differences,
exactly.
all the differences. Yeah, absolutely.
And so, not that my Thanksgiving was like that, but it's usually very harmonious. Like truly, we're just playing Ghost Stop. We're eating a lot. Like the whatever chemical in the turkey is making us all sleepy.
Oh,
and
good for you
it's
guys.
Great. But I was traveling this year without my sister. And I have to say, low-key, I was a little excited at first because it's like only child vibes, right? Like all the attention. But I think it was too much attention. It was too much pressure, too much responsibility.
Oh.
And okay, couple realizations. The word is definitely not bittersweet.
Okay.
It was just bitter. Because, like it made me sad because I think my mom was placed in a very difficult situation.
Okay.
Because she was trying to accommodate to her friend that we were also traveling with and my travel style. Which I don't think they realized had changed over the past 2 years because, you know, this was our first family trip in 2 years. And in between, I had been going on trips with my significant other.
Right.
And we're both very type A. So it's like, I wake up at, 7:30, get out by 8:30, have breakfast at a cute cafe, walk over there. And we're like trying to conquer it in like sections.
Right.
Whereas my mom's friend was a bit more like, let's go here and let's go do that. Like, like
it's a bit scattered. Like why aren't you following the map?
Yeah, kind of. My dad drove past like the friend's sister's house. So we were visiting her house so many times. We passed so many times. But going back to the point, I think like that's where conflict started to arise, because I was finding all these places and recommending how we should be doing the trip.
Right.
Which they asked, but then we weren't doing it like that. So then it was kind of like, well, then why are you asking me?
Yeah.
Like if we're not going to even like do what you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I wouldn't, so then they thought I was upset because we weren't traveling in the style that I recommended. Right. But it's not that. It's the fact that you guys asked and you guys weren't like listening or following through. Right?
Yeah.
And so that's where I think conflict started to arise. And for the first time, it made me think, oh my God, like it was like one of those like adult moments. Like, oh, am I transitioning to an adult because now we were adopting different travel styles?
Yeah.
So then obviously, and you guys, I'm just realizing, I think 3 days is good. The fourth day, I always get a little bit cranky when traveling. Okay. I think 3 days is great.
Yeah.
So on the fourth day, my mom got mad at me, right? Because I was showing some attitude. And that's when like, I mean, we hashed it out. Like it's fine now. Low-key, I think she feels a little bad because she's been so nice to me. It's a little weird. Like she's really, really nice, but I'm grateful and I'm thankful. Maybe she's just happy. And
you milking it.
On the fourth day, she was just like, she was like, your dad and I just want to relax. And I think that like pissed me off because I was like, nobody communicated that to me. Like if I had known you guys just wanted to relax, I wouldn't be like, let's walk there, check mark that, go here, you know? Because quite frankly, I came here like 2-3 weeks ago. Like I did all this stuff. But I know it's my dad's been in the area before, but it was my mom's first time. And I just wanted her to have a good trip. But I didn't know her purpose was to relax. And so when she said that, it like pissed me off.
Yeah, because I think one thing that we've definitely talked about when we're traveling is you have to like narrow down on a purpose with the person. Yes. Like if this is their first time in the city and not your first time, there's going to be different like things that you want to do. Like they may want to see like more monuments and like, you know, all the touristy stuff. Whereas the second time it's like more like, oh, let's like actually explore the depths of the city. Yeah. And so I think like always just kind of communicating. Yeah. I think is probably different in a family because like you're so used to just like,
so I didn't even think to talk about it because they're my parents.
Yeah.
But then I think just with the dynamic having been with her friend as well shifted things a lot.
Right.
I guess I just felt a little used.
Oh, interesting.
Like we'd go to these places I've never been before and like, oh, what are we eating here?
It's like,
I don't know. I don't know.
Am I Google?
Yeah. So, but we hashed it out now. And the reason why I asked you, like, do you get upset about how long you were upset? Like I asked you that question because it's been, you know, by the time this episode comes out, it'll probably have been a couple of weeks. But I asked myself, like, why did I get so upset? You know, if they didn't want to go there, like, okay, like whatever. But so it was just like a big learning lesson. Yeah. Lastly, just, this trip made me realize like my parents aged a bit. Like it was like, it made me sad. It made me sad because my dad, like even just a drive down to San Diego would never let me drive. Like would never let me drive. Right. Especially at night. Yeah. But like he was so willingly like he was like handed me the keys.
Dude, yeah. No, I remember the first time my dad was like, hey, can you drive? And we were in Colorado and like, mind you, it's kind of snowing. Oh my God, terrifying. It was literally so dark. We're in the mountains. And I was like, oh my God, my dad is getting old.
I was driving in the rain and you know, Californians in the rain. And I was just like,
like I have so many lives in the car.
Yeah. So I just learned so much and it's been a while since, I mean, right? I don't know if I shared this on the pod, but like my sister usually is like, Julie, like I cause the problems. You need to be the good kid. There's only room for one kid to have problems with the parent. And she says it as a joke, but it was just, she probably didn't. She was probably so happy she didn't come along.
Yeah, you know? No, I'm sure. But yeah, no, welcome to the tradition of having a drama-filled holiday, because I know a lot of people can relate to that because like truly my family and I, when it comes to holidays, like I think what it is like there's always some tension because it's like you're supposed to be happy, like it's happy day, like today is happy day. And so like when I sense a little bit of attitude from my sister, I will get pissed off.
It's a happy day.
Yeah. And then my mom will get mad at me. She's like, why are you guys fighting? And then my parents will start, it's just overall, we just love feeding off of each other.
Yeah. Family.
But I will say we maybe switched positions this time because I feel like this holiday, dude, it was so chill. It was so relaxed, literally. Because it was like at my cousin's house. And so since they were hosting, there was like literally nothing that we had to do. Like I was like asking my mom.
Because it's usually at your house.
Yeah. And so I think that's maybe where like the pressure comes in is like when you're the ones who like are in charge of everyone having a good meal,
time.
Good time, being entertaining, playing host. And so welcome to the club. No.
I reject the invitation. Sorry, busy. I'm gonna pass.
Okay. Yeah, don't RSVP to that. But yeah, no, I think for me the biggest thing this Thanksgiving that way, like I think it has been unique is that like because I'm not working, dude, the amount of times that I got asked like, oh, are you working right now? I'm glad that was the question though. Like I'm glad it wasn't to where are you working?
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the fact that they were like asking me that, I think I was just like, damn, like it's really hard to have to be to every single family member separately. Like, no, I'm not working
just
right now.
Gather all of them and announce,
I'm not working right now, okay? Don't ask me about it. But I think more than that, like there were definitely some like parents who are like a bit younger than my parents. Some of them were like, oh, like totally understandable. I think it's really hard to like figure out what you want to do with your life. And so if you need advice, like, you know, please like contact me. And so like, I really, really appreciate that. But then of course you get the other parents who are just straight go into like, oh, you were doing marketing and you didn't like it. You know, there are other parts of marketing. And I'm literally looking at her like,
oh, so it was a her. It was a she.
It was a she.
She, her, hers.
I was literally going, you think I don't know that? Like, you think I don't know that there's another part of marketing? Like, girl, I have tried multiple.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I have exhausted the field.
Yeah. Is that why you were hiding in the restroom? Yeah, to get away from her?
LMAO. Literally, I was playing with my baby cousins. Like, she is 7. I was playing with the 7-year-old like for probably 40% of the time because I was like, dude, she got good vibes. I was like, this 7-year-old is so chill, not asking me questions.
I see that because there's a TV show, or not a TV show, it's a movie. It's a movie on Netflix called Holiday.
Okay.
And what's her name? Emma
Chamberlain.
No.
Stone.
Emma Stone? No. Emma Stone?
Watson.
Emma Stone? No, not Emma Stone. The other Emma Roberts.
Emma Roberts
was sitting at the kids' table because all the adults were being annoying. You know what I mean?
Literally me. Literally, I'm not even joking.
We're being annoying.
So, guys, I found out that day that I can do the splits.
Awesome.
Yeah. Emily.
Who'd you show? You showed your 7-year-old
Emily.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, I'm doing gymnastics. And then I was like, can you do the splits? And then she was like, yeah. And she showed me all 3.
Shoot, she could do the middle one?
She could do the middle one.
I can never do the middle one.
No, it was amazing. It was amazing. And so I was
you should have shrimped her. You know? Oh, well, I'm doing jujitsu.
LMAO. You want me to beat up a 7-year-old?
But, you know, it'll instill in her a sense of protect myself, you know, like
to attack a 7-year-old.
Like maybe, you know, she'd learn like, you know, you can really do splits. It's kind of useless.
Cool and all.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's useless.
What are you gonna do?
Shrimping on the other hand.
Shrimping on the other hand, you can get away from your opponent.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, and so
you know?
no. So speaking of jujitsu, dude, I think that like reflecting upon like physical health, for example, I started jujitsu in like July of this year.
Already?
Yeah.
Wait, like I mean, already as in like. You start. Why did I feel it was a lot like later?
No, I know, same. But like, I got my first stripe, and so I'm like, I think it's been really nice being introduced to like a martial art that like people start at like kind of an older age. Like there are so many people who are probably like my age all the way up until like 50 who are starting as white belts. And so it's been like super cool to just like kind of like build a community in that way. But like more than anything, I think it's impacted my health and like my mindset like so much more. Like because like for example, I know you always joke about shrimping.
That's the only word I know. Is there like a whaling?
No.
Sharking.
No.
That was the shark teeth, you know, like that.
Yeah, no. But like, for example, in like the warm-ups, when I was shrimping, I was just getting so exhausted, like so tired. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And so I think it motivated me to like go to the gym and like actually work out. And so I think like in like a couple months after that, I joined the gym. And then my goal has been to just purely like get stronger.
Yes.
And I think that like if I can get a little vulnerable here for a second, like I've definitely had my fair share of like food issues, body issues, exercise issues. And so specifically, like I want to talk about like exercise here. Like going to the gym was always a punishment. It was always a punishment. Like it was either, oh, I ate something that I was not supposed to, so I'm going to go to the gym to work it off. Or I want to eat something that I'm not supposed to, so I'm going to go to the gym beforehand. And so I think that like that mentality just like was like too much for me. And so I like now going to the gym, like I purely do it because I want to see what my body is capable of and to like get myself stronger. Like my goal has literally been, okay, I want to beat this person up like during jujitsu. Not in a beat up way, but you know, in a lovingly like, beat up way. Like I won, you know, 1, 2, 3. Tap out. Yeah, tap out, baby. And so I think it's like honestly like the healthiest relationship I have ever had with the gym, and it's honestly been like so rewarding.
That's so good.
Yeah, and I know that like you too, like I think you were a big inspiration in that because like seeing you drive an hour to your boxing class.
Yeah, it's I think it's the loyalist in me. I love it so much. I had such a great experience with it before quarantine. Like I know it's effective in terms of like, for me, I used it more for a de-stressor.
Oh yeah.
Like a part of me thinks I was such a happy person because I always had like a coping mechanism with stress. And so when that was stripped from me and I was in school and working at a place that gave me so much stress, is when I realized, oh, like a weakness of mine is being intolerant with stress. But that's so funny. I mean, it makes me happy that you were positively influenced. But it was funny because when I was thinking about like my physical health throughout 2021, I felt that it was not at the level I wanted it to be at. If that makes sense. Not that I'm like consciously always comparing myself, not to anybody else, actually comparing myself to myself, actually, like past versions of like high school Julie or like 2019. Like 2019 will forever be one of my favorite years, but I just like, I think at first I tried to justify with, okay, we're just kind of coming out of quarantine. My stamina is kind of low. Like I'm used to not actually punching the bag or like doing all these activities in one day. Like it's okay to be tired. But I've been living a semi like regular life like since January. I mean, I've been going out to work like since end of last year. Right. And I just feel like to me that excuse isn't justifiable anymore. Yet I find it very difficult to maintain like the level of energy that I want.
Oh yeah.
And so like I think boxing has helped me, but even that I have to like account for it in my day. Or else I will crash so quickly. And going back to like my November mental health issue, like I think that's why that also puts me in like, oh my God, am I like anemic? I know I'm vitamin D deficient, but like, is it so bad that it's affecting me? Like, I just feel like I can't physically perform to the level that I want.
Right.
So even like punching, like I actually had to stop taking 2 classes a day. Right. So I was trying to be efficient, and like if I have 8 classes a month right now, like, you know, might as well just do 2 a day. But then I realized that I was saving up energy from the first class so that I can box the second class in the same day. Which then ultimately I'm not really getting my money's worth because I'm not punching as hard or I'm not having as much fun. Right. So that's funny because I just feel like I can't keep up to like what I'm envisioning or want to be at mentally. Right. But other than that, physical health wise, you guys, I shared this journey with you, but I made it to the airport on time after running my 5K.
Let's go.
And if you listen to our episode 3 weeks ago, I didn't follow through too well. Like I didn't end up staying for the raffle. But because I didn't, as you guys saw, I mean, we ran that in 29 minutes. And for like Julia and I, that's like really, really good because we're not like trained runners or anything. Like we were running like once a week. to run this 3 mile 5K.
Heck yeah.
But then, we came home, played bananagrams, and then I took a shower. I was all packed. Flight was at 12. I think I got to the airport by like 10. Like we were at the gate by 10:30. Latest.
Amazing.
And so it was great. I mean,
if you guys didn't follow along on bulgogi.podcast on Instagram,
yes,
what are you doing?
Yeah. And that girl, whoever called us out, or not called us out, but on TikTok was like, I'm gonna guess the one on the right is a Virgo and the other's a Capricorn. You're spot on.
You're literally spot on.
Spot on.
Yeah.
So I ran my first 5K, and I just want to keep us accountable. Julia and I promised to recruit 2 of you guys for the next 5K next year for the turkey trot.
Wait,
you guys meaning in our group of 9 friends.
I don't like that.
So
I don't like that.
I'm voluntelling you.
You're I actually like never do cardio. I'm like anti-cardio, and I actually ran on the treadmill for like the first time, and I was like, like upping the speed, and it tells you like the mile time, and I was like, oh shit, why does this say 11 minutes?
Wait, that's pretty good.
And 11
that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
I used to run like a 750 mile.
But when was that?
Like 7th grade.
Exactly. That's not too bad. You want it to be enjoyable. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Yes.
And also, one like really, really important note that I like want to emphasize is that Julie and I talk about like our physical health in this way because this is our PPD, right? It's our personal public diary.
Yes.
And I think that like we've both found like a lot of like solitude and just like health within like working out and whatnot. But I know that like if you're not there, it can be really hard to listen to this stuff.
For sure.
And so I want you guys to be like gentle on yourself. If you guys don't feel like you're in the place to want to work out, or if you even like worse than that, like feel like, oh, I should because they are, I should because all these people are around me, like I want you to like just like take the pressure off of yourself, because I think that like when you're ready, you'll get into it, right? And so like I think for me, like one of those things of like, comparing ourselves, like we say when we're talking about social media, like a big one of those has been like, like you got to stay healthy and fit and active, but like if you're not there, like that's okay. Like it's totally fine.
Yeah, no, I agree. And okay, so many thoughts. They might contradict a little bit, but even for like staying healthy with social media, it's so funny. Even when I was telling my boyfriend about like when and like when I was gonna delete it and why I chose that date, it was me like creating all these excuses, right? So naturally, like I feel like our brain, like we're always gonna say like, oh, like we're gonna create excuses.
Yeah.
And so while I completely agree, like I wasn't always like, I mean, you guys, like during quarantine, I barely worked out, but I saw that there were so many people who like had body transformations, and then like half the world kind of did the opposite, right? So it's just whatever truly floats your boat. Like we're all seriously just so different. It's crazy to me. But also like so contradicting. So make sure you're doing it like at your own pace, at your own time, but make sure you're being like real with yourself, right? Okay. Like, am I not ready? And can I be using this protected time to like grow in other ways? Or am I just being lazy? Or am I just like, do I just want to spend like an hour on TikTok, right? And workouts don't need to be an hour. Like you can literally do sit-ups, you can be doing squat. Like it's anything really, right? Yeah. And if there's something just I kind of learned, like personally for my type of personality and what works for me is that if you really, really wanted it, it works. And you know how I know? Is because when you have like a 6 a.m. flight and you have to wake up at like 4? Doesn't it work? Doesn't it work? Like I wake up before the alarm. Right. And I'm not the type that plans. I don't plan on waking up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. every day. But I think just for like my type of personality, like if I really wanted it, I'm probably going to be able to find a way to make it work. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so I think that's something like I learned. That's just, like don't feel pressure, don't feel forced, but also I identify. Don't cheat too much. Don't cheat too much. Yeah. Be real.
Yeah. I don't think it should be a punishment in any sense.
Exactly.
But yeah, so we covered mental health, we covered physical health, and I think one of our categories is also relationships. And how has it been on the dating front?
The dating front.
What did you learn this year?
So when I was trying to think about this, at first I found it very hard. I was like, what happened? Like what did go on? And it brought me back to like the beginning, right? Like January. And I learned so much about myself this year through dating my boyfriend. Most importantly, that I find it very hard to be emotionally vulnerable and blunt in my like personal life because I don't want to hurt the person.
Right.
And some people will disagree and say like, oh no, like because I care about them, I'll be more honest. And like, of course that's what I want to do too, but I find it a little bit more difficult. I just didn't know to what how extreme it was. Until I was dating my boyfriend, right? And it was so bad that like, I think he thought I didn't really like him because the rate at which we were opening up to one another was so different.
Yeah.
So he thought I didn't like him because he was opening up so quickly while it took me literally like months. But also something else I learned was, you know, your partner, doesn't matter if you've dated for 6 months or 3 years or 10 years, like it's continuous.
Yeah.
Right. And I was trying to pick his brain about this, and this is what he said. And I was like, that's so true. Like, and I think it's because I heard it a couple times this year, which, you know, so like recency bias kind of like I've heard it just so much recently. But yeah, I think like his parents were telling me, like my parents were telling me, and like you think you're marrying somebody because you know them so well. But the thing is, even when you are married for 10 years, you'll learn something new about the person because they didn't know that about themselves. Or even like we said this like for a hot season, like we said it often, like we're ever changing.
Yeah.
And so even if they were this one way, like they might be different.
Yeah.
Right? Because I mean, for sure, like for example, you, right? Like I thought I knew you so well, and then you had this like, what would you call it? All of 2020 was like
just like a kill yourself and then rebirth. Okay. It was a very cocoon metamorphosis.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like a metamorphosis. And now sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I should say it because maybe that's not you anymore. You know, like I don't want to say, oh, Hannah's like this and this. Oh, Hannah would like that. Would she like that? Maybe I think she likes that because she was just being considerate and took whatever was left, or like she wanted other people to go first because she's so selfless.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, no, I do think it was like a total like metamorphosis, because like also for me, like, I mean, you guys have been on this journey with us, but like 2021, first breakup ever. And I think that like, I mean, we share so much with you guys, and like I honestly like don't think that I can imagine my life without this podcast. And so it's been like a really great experience to just like get support with you guys throughout this time. But also I think like a big learning lesson for like both of us has been like how much to share, right? Because like, you know, in this world of like content creating, I think that like a lot of times the lines can get blurred between like your personal life and your public life and whatnot. And so like definitely for me, I look back at some of our episodes and I'm like, did I overshare here? Like, I don't feel too good about like maybe the way I spoke about things. But I also think that just kind of like speaks to like growth, right? Like the fact that I'm able to reflect and be like, you know what, if I could, you know, retell a story in a different way, like I probably would, but it's already out there. And so like, we're just gonna like leave it and accept it like as is. But yeah, I think that like in general, like having my first breakup and like a public breakup in sorts, at that, like it was honestly like very tough. Like I felt like I had to like be okay maybe like quicker, because I was just like, you know what, like let's just get over this, right? Like people have different ways of coping. And so I think even just like honoring my own emotions, and then like figuring out like, oh, like how does one like deal with like heartbreak? Like how does one like get back on their feet and like, you know, do that like building of a foundation again. And so I think
the metamorphosis, like a second metamorphosis.
The second metamorphosis, yes, exactly. And so yeah, I think I'm like proud we got through it.
Yes,
I can confidently say that like I feel like at peace. I think a big part of that was actually like something I like did not expect. So we like spoke about the breakup on the podcast. I don't think I was healed actually. And then a couple months after that, I was finally like, oh my gosh, I think I'm healed. Like, I feel good. And I think I'm ready to date. And it's been like very good and like on that consistent path. And then actually I got a text from my ex being like, hey, I just like wanted to check in with like how you're doing. Are you free for a phone call? And so we actually, it was so healthy, guys. And so we like literally hopped on the phone and just like caught up on life. And it was really nice.
Yeah.
Like, it was honestly like, oh wow, like good to hear his voice. And I will say, like, I definitely like got emotional during the call because I was like, I'm so familiar with like this, like, oh hey, like literally hearing it in his voice. But I think that overall, like, I was like at peace after the phone call because I was like, you know what? Like, I will always care for this person, but like, I'm not like in love.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I was finally like, oh, I'm healed.
You like the person.
Oh, absolutely.
But you're not in love with the person.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I will always like have respect for him. And so I think like that's one of the biggest things that I want to get across is like, I hope that the way that I speak about him like reflects as accurately as possible how much I respect him and appreciate the relationship in general.
Yes.
And so that happened.
I think I manifested it.
You
did. Listen, I was like, you know, out of all our girls, like if anyone were to have like a healthy breakup, because let me be real, I don't ever really envision myself talking to my ex like that. I don't think so. So for you to like,
yeah,
that's so healthy.
No, literally, I was like, Julie manifested this for me. Thank you for putting it out into the universe.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Yeah,
be better.
Be Julie. Oh God. Yeah. And so now I'm just working on like getting back into the dating scene. And you know, I mentioned a little bit earlier about how like some guy had to reschedule. I got real offended. And so now I think like the biggest thing is like building like tough skin.
Yes.
Like thick skin.
You gotta set goals. You know what I mean? Like remember a year back, we were definitely recording and I was like, you guys, my goal on Hinge is to make a friend.
Oh,
do you remember that?
Yeah.
And at least that was my intention, you know, like
that.
Yeah. But yeah, so you gotta set the expectation. Because remember, you gotta set the tone. You gotta set the tone.
Yeah. I think my tone needs to be like
stronger.
Don't take shit personally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is literally my goal for 2021 to my goal for 2022.
Are you serious?
Yeah, literally. Yeah, literally my goal.
Okay, let's get into end of this year, next year, moving forward.
Going back to the New Year, same Charlotte Girl episode, right? We were sharing some of our goals, and I think I said something along the lines of like realizing what you have control of. Yeah, like, you know, like I was working at a place that didn't bring me too much happiness, but I let my ego get to me. And I think I shared that a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
Thing is, like, I could have left if I wanted to, right? And just realizing that control. And although I didn't get to accomplish too many of the goals I set for myself.
AKA what?
AKA like vocal lessons, vocal classes, AKA reading a book a month. But I'm going to, in Korean is 도전, is like, what is like, what would 도전 translate to? 도전 is like LFG. Let's like, let's effing go. Kind of, sort of.
It's like a whiting?
Yeah, it's like a whiting. Which the first time somebody typed out whiting in English, I was like, what in the world is H-waiting?
H-waiting?
I was like, what is H-waiting?
What is H-waiting?
Yeah, I'm going to read 도전. I'm going to try it out again in 2022.
Okay. Can I make a quick note?
Yes.
Recently, my roommate Ali, who read 34 books last year.
Maybe she can tutor me? Like, I could follow her schedule or something?
Wait, but here's the thing. She was recently talking to me about how like she'll start books and not enjoy them and then feel a lot of book guilt. As in like
you're journaling.
Like guilt of not finishing.
Yeah.
And so you don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah, you're right.
You know? Like, if you don't enjoy a book, dude, don't finish it. Don't waste any more time on it.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay. You don't have to finish everything.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to be a little use. Maybe a book a quarter. I get book a quarter.
Yeah.
A book every other month.
Yeah. Make it not painful.
Yeah. Anyways, just I shared just my recent Thanksgiving experience, and I'm so happy you brought up that you would get like upset easily. because I have two, and I don't know if it's a part of that November funk, but I've been very irritable, like truly so badly and so much that after it happens, I'm like, why did that piss me off?
Yeah.
Like there should have been zero reason why that affected me, but why did it affect me?
Yeah.
And I just think I take things way too personally. And I think when people say like you take things personally, like I'm not saying like I was at a loss or like it affected like my physical being. It's just more like I need to stop overdoing it.
Oh.
Like I think I put too much pressure on myself. And that wasn't even expected, but then I somehow like trick my brain like that is the expectation. And then when I don't receive enough like acknowledgement or like, yeah, I guess that's it. When it's not acknowledged, then I'm just like upset because they didn't acknowledge it.
Oh.
Okay, in the family, like within my family,
right.
Maybe like with my significant other, like I just think I take things way too personally.
Oh, I see.
So that's the goal for 2022.
I like that.
Let's just not take things too personally. You know what?
Yeah.
SHIT happens. I remember I think it was sophomore year or junior year of college. My goal that year was let's be nicer. And I feel like by me taking things personally is making me a less nice person. I need to take things a little less personally so that I can be happier and kinder to others.
Wow.
And yeah.
You know what's funny is like I feel like I'm just like a little like my goal for the next year is like just a little extension from yours.
Okay.
Because it's to be nicer to myself.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Be nicer to yourself. I mean, it starts from there, right?
Yeah. No. I mean, we talk about like you got to put on your own oxygen mask before you put on others.
Exactly.
You have to have a full cup if you want to fill up others.
Exactly.
And so I think that one thing I've been noticing, especially like listening to New Year's same chola girls. Chola. It's chola.
It's like it's
chola.
It's like
chola.
chola.
Chola girls.
Chola. It's chola.
Chola girls.
Yeah.
Chola girls.
Yeah, chola. Chola.
Some of the goals that I set for myself were, for example, like I want to finish things because I feel like I'm not finishing things. For myself to take action because I'm not taking action. But to be honest, I feel like all those things have like contributed to this like bad cycle of like my fear of failure because I feel like I'm not going to finish something. I'm not starting things. So it's almost worked like conversely. Like it's literally not working in my favor. Yeah. And so I think that's something that like I think I've realized like it's unnecessary. So like I want to cut that out. And then like another one that I think I actually accomplished was that I don't want to doubt myself as much.
Yes.
And guys, self-vlogging.
Yes.
I am so much more confident in my decisions because I'm able to process it out loud. And so maybe also understanding how you process things. Like I like processing things by talking to other people, but sometimes I get too influenced by other people's opinions.
Yes.
And so I only talk to myself.
That's self-awareness.
Yeah. And so it's been really, really great to just be able to like have this outlet and like get my thoughts cleared up. And so I think that I'm more confident in my decisions. I don't like doubt myself. I'm like, why am I feeling this way? And so I think I've been a bit more judgmental, but yeah, like I said, I want to implement just being kinder to myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I guess the theme for next year is kindness.
Kindness. I like that.
Kindness.
Yeah. And then also side note, I feel like, I mean, you mentioned how your parents are getting older.
Yes.
My parents are getting older. They going through some existential crises. My dad keeps talking about the chaos theory. Guys, look it up if you don't know. He's been recommending tons of stuff on Netflix.
Okay.
And so I feel like because I like don't really understand it, like I'm just like kind of dismissing it. And I feel like I've been doing that a lot with my family. Like I've just like been dismissing what they're saying because it doesn't interest me. And so I think that like I want to work on like rebuilding my relationship with my family. Like I feel like since moving out, it's been a lot harder to like keep in touch, actually check up on them. And so also that.
Yeah.
Kindness to them as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being so kind to us, everybody. I was gonna say everybody and everyone at the same time. So everyone.
That's really cute.
Everyone, thank you so much for being so kind to us. We'll be back
on January 31st. Mark it on your calendars if you have not already. I know that it seems like a little bit of time, but I think that like in order for us to like have more experiences, you gotta experience life a little bit.
Like, I know we're funny without the experiences too. I know. But we'll still be around.
Absolutely.
Yup.
So check us out on Instagram and TikTok at bulgogi.podcast, on Twitter at bulgogipodcast, me on Instagram at HANAKATTT,
and me at BJULIFIED.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's gonna be a long time before we do this again, but 1, 2, 3. Ooh.
See you in 2022.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.